Yeah, getting ready for the web show.
Beep, 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 beep. Oh, he's here. Yo!
Hey, Kevin, it's Matt. Let me out.
Dope, come up.
Yeah, going to Kevin's for the web show. It's gonna be awesome.
Hey. Hey, we're on, back once again.
Right back up in your motherfucking ass.
This is Funniness is a Warm Gun, our 5th episode.
Episode number 5.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Kevin Drieberg, and this is
Matt Orchard.
the one and the only. So we're doing these web shows from Sydney, Australia, but we're actually in a location which I'm quite excited about.
We decided that we'll come to you from the beach, come to you from Egypt, all these hot places. So it was time for a break to go somewhere cold.
Yep.
And so we are
Live and direct from
surrounded by ice cubes.
Oh, man.
It's cold. So many ice cubes.
So we got an upgrade in this little studio that we have, and we've actually got AC air conditioning. So feeling quite comfortable now.
Yep, living the dream.
Yep.
That's what happens when you get ratings through the roof.
You get to upgrade.
Yep.
Piece by piece.
Can we talk about that?
Please.
So we got a huge ratings boost, over 100 views, which in YouTube, that's not amazing, but it's like a big improvement on...
For us?
Yeah, we're at like 50 or whatever before.
Now we're 3 digits deep.
Full disclosure, though, we did pay a little bit of money for it.
But you need to do that.
Yeah, we got some prioritization on the YouTube.
Yeah.
I was actually going to ask Kevin. I was asking Kevin at the bar earlier this week. We just kind of ran into each other and
Spill my drink everywhere. You bought me a new one, though. So.
Yeah. But I asked you this and you said save it for the episode.
Yes.
Good story. So I was asking once you kind of paid a little bit of money, not a lot, but just a little bit of extra dosh to by the way, I need to fix you up for that because I should pay half. But
or if there's any sponsors out there watching, that put your name next to it, and we can get some ads that helps us, and we can help you. And yeah, we'll
address that soon too. But I was asking because when you initially paid for it, we got like a big boost. It was like 20 in like an hour, and like another 10, and then like stopped. And the next day, boom, another 30.
Yep.
But around Thursday, Friday, it stopped. So what's the story there?
I pulled it.
Okay.
So I'll tell you exactly what I did, and the people at home can listen in as well. So we put an ad campaign through the Google network. So it was basically, the first thing was a text ad. So if people were typing in something to do for an hour, or web show on my screen or whatever, then they'll find
their own. For an hour. I like that.
You'd be surprised what search terms you can get low cost per clicks for.
Right.
Which people actually search for. So that was a couple of those things. But I figured out that people were more likely to be engaged and stay watching the video if they were looking for a video already. So I moved it to the YouTube network. So basically, if people were typing into YouTube, I want to know about the MH370 or what's happening in Sydney or whatever, and they're looking for a video around about an hour long, then we'd pay to be higher up in the search results.
If someone's looking for MH370 coverage, by the way, I think it should be
the most reliable source.
Yeah, I hope we're up there because I think our coverage of that has been absolutely outstanding, exemplary journalism.
It has been.
Yeah.
Covered it from all angles and kept you updated throughout something's going on here. Every week we came back with another update. So we'll put that to rest right now. Just know that we're paying money, but we're not paying for clicks. We're paying to get the right relevant content, which is our videos, to the people who want to find the answers.
Yeah.
So that's that. But speaking about the MH370, let's have a little recap of the week that has come and any revelations or updates.
Ongoing coverage.
What have you heard, Matt?
Still missing.
Yeah, haven't found it?
No.
It's not.
So they found quite a lot of like debris and rubble and stuff in the ocean, but everything has been like old fishing nets and tin roofs and shit. At least it's shown us that there's a lot of junk in the ocean. We should maybe be sorting that out, but still no plane. And today apparently the black box battery's getting low, and that's kind of turning into a bit of a limited time. So that's making it even worse, and it's still missing.
I heard that they found some big part, and they thought it was from the plane, and it turned out it was bright orange. So how they mistook that for being part of the plane?
I don't know.
I
Do you
won't
know what
understand that.
Malaysia Airlines logos look like?
Actually, that's a good point. I don't. Maybe it's orange.
Could be painted, yeah. Could be an orange stripe, I think.
So that's that. And Tony Abbott, who is the PM of Australia currently, is he's head. I don't know the right way to say this, but he's appointed himself as the head of the research, the rescue and seeking team.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's landed somewhere close to Australia, he's like, I'll lead the world on this one.
And it's good that he is, the leader of the world on the MH370 thing. But the question is, for how long?
Yeah.
See, political influence can be fleeting if you don't have the right people backing you. And I put out on Twitter this week.
Yep. FIAG. FIAWG.
At FIAWG. I tweeted, being bipartisan, I tweeted both Tony Abbott and Bill Shorten. Bill Shorten's the name of the other guy?
I call him BS for short.
Yeah. I didn't even realise that. His name is Bill, though, right? Did I get it wrong? You know what? If I did that, just goes to show you don't have enough clout, Mr. Shorten, then you should get in contact.
But if he would have replied to our tweet, not only would we know his name, but we'd put it out there.
Yeah, so I've tweeted both Tony Abbott and Mr. Shorten.
Willie.
Yeah, I said, look, first person to retweet this gets the FIOG endorsement for 2017. So far, I haven't heard back from either of them. So again, how long is Tony Abbott going to be there? I mean, we're not going to endorse Shorten if he doesn't tweet us either, but the first one to do it gets it.
Yep.
The coveted FIOG endorsement.
Yep.
So putting it out there again, guys. Waiting.
So something that I want to get into is that the fact that Tony Abbott is like, oh, this is something that the whole world can get behind, and the whole world needs to find a solution to this because it's such a tragedy. 230 odd lives were lost. That's in this scale of things. That's not a huge tragedy. It's just like it's front page, but it's not the worst thing going on. If he's trying to rally people and trying to get the world to solve this one problem, there's a whole bunch of problems we should be looking at first.
Did you know? I heard this week. More women have been killed for being women than men have died in wars over the last 100 years.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like, China and stuff like that, and like certain Muslim countries and everything. Like, apparently there's some kind of statistic. Could be controversial though, because that might be counting like abortions.
Yeah.
In say places like China where like you need.
But then both the son and the daughter will get.
No, because specifically in places like China where, like, if you're not, or India for instance, if it's not born a boy, then that kind of screws over the family, because of the culture that they live in.
I didn't know that.
I'd need to double check it to find the exact stats, but it was something like that. More women have been killed for being women than men have died in all wars over the last 10 years.
So that's there. There's homelessness, there's people going hungry, there's like war itself, there's all this stuff like 230 odd people, get over that.
What the fuck are you doing trying to
rally people? Now that the attention's on him, like, even if you don't find it, use that networking, that connection that you've got with the world leaders, and do something.
Or you could not do that, or you could not do that and retweet FIOG, and we'll still support you.
Either way,
if you retweet FIOG, then I think everything you're doing with the MH370 is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Your priority is 100% correct. But if Bill Shorten retweets us, you're a fucking asshole.
Yep, so it's a race. It's the only race that counts. You've got the political races and whatever. This is the one.
Your move.
Who's going to retweet us first?
Tune in next week to find out.
Really, I don't know if there's any other updates on this. They haven't found it. There's, hope is diminishing. There's no more...
I don't know if there's any hope, really, because, even if... I think... For whatever reason, and I don't even know why this is ruled out now, seeing as I didn't find it, but at some point 2 weeks ago they did rule out that it being rerouted somewhere. But even if it had been rerouted, if no demand's been made or no, you can assume that the passengers have been off at this point. I'm sorry to be so bleak, but
going back to my original statement in the first time we mentioned this 3-4 odd weeks ago, I think everyone's still good and they're chilling somewhere. They're flown through a space rip, or they landed on some island and found stuff like this dope paradise, whatever. If there's no answers, I'll hold out on that.
Okay. It's fair. It's fair.
What else can you do? You can just be optimistic, right?
Mm.
That's that. I don't think there's anything else that we can update the show
on that particular thing, no. But if you've enjoyed our coverage, just keep checking in.
And let us know if you've got a theory or you want to, I don't know.
I'm not sure if anyone
No, I was
really has
halfway
any
through.
theories at this point.
Halfway
I
through
think
it,
people
I'm
are getting tired of the story, but we promised we'd keep you updated, and we're sticking with it. So, you're welcome.
Yeah, so that's that. And also, I like the fact that we're talking about it because we can put in the search terms and the keywords that MH37. So if you found us through there,
Profit off the tragedy.
yeah, find something, silver linings. So, the next thing I want to talk about is so I like to keep national news as much as we can on the show. Nothing ever happens in this nation of ours that's mention worthy, but when it does, we mention it, and something that's very local. Where I live, there's a big park across the road, and they were filming a commercial, and part of this commercial involved water buffaloes. So they had this steel trailer with 2 water buffaloes, big dudes with horns, the typical water buffalo personas. Somehow they escaped this cage and they started running down the street. So there's 2 water buffaloes hurtling down the street, and it's like
Nobody was hurt, right?
No, technically no.
It's quite surprising, you'd think.
They could have just wilded out, but
The water buffaloes kind of...
I don't know.
They're not attracted to... Because, I mean, some animals are more predisposed to kind of attacking humans.
Yeah.
Water buffaloes are quite aggressive, but maybe not unless you...
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
I think that might be the case.
Okay.
So that was quite funny. It's a very indie kind of. How would you describe the place of Newtown?
Yeah, I mean,
alternative kind of place,
not
right?
somewhere where water
Hipsters.
buffaloes really would fit in.
Yeah.
If
they had cardigans and big frame glasses or whatever. But that.
We're pretty tolerant around here, so it's you wouldn't get.
I'm sure that no one looked twice at it. It's I am water buffalo.
It's like some cafes dogs welcome. I don't think there's any cafes are water buffaloes fine.
So that was in about an hour. So everyone's posting on Twitter and whatever.
Just imagine.
And it had a Twitter account.
Just imagine
because
there are that's right because there are apartments on Newtown, right? I mean you live in an apartment, but imagine if one of those townhouses, and you get up there, oh groggy, birds in the pen, you just walk up, water buffalo running down there.
Yeah. And it's odd as well because there's no, as far as I know, there's no water buffaloes in Australia.
Wait, so they imported them from another country?
Oh, maybe a zoo or something, but they're
Well, they might be on a farm.
Yeah, well, they're not common. But
Yeah.
It's not like a kangaroo jumping down the street. It's like, what the fuck is that?
Well, that would still be
it's a
pretty
water buffalo.
weird. The kangaroo just jumping down the street. It wouldn't be exactly oh, well, it's Australia. So yeah.
People overseas think that there are just wild kangaroos in civilization.
Oh, same with New Zealand, the sheep thing. There are people who think that in urban areas there are just sheep wandering around.
Yeah. So that's that. I thought it was quite funny, and because it was local, I just wanted to bring it up and give it a bit of airtime. What else has been going on that's kind of local here?
Locally, local events happening.
Sydney,
how local
New
does
South
it
Wales,
be? King's Cross had the lockout laws recently. That's happened. Doesn't really fit me though, because I don't really I mean, when you go out, do you?
So
often...
the lockout laws is for people playing at home. The lockout laws.
Lockout laws for people not in Sydney or not in Australia. I think people in Melbourne will know about it. In King's Cross especially. In fact, we did kind of talk about this a few weeks ago. We talked about King Hits a few weeks ago, but it was before the lockout laws came into effect. But because a few people gotten punched in the face randomly, they've made a law that you can't get into establishments, specifically in King's Cross, after 1. And then at 3, it's last drink served. Now, first of all, okay, with 3 last drinks served, I can see that kind of messing my night a little bit. There might be a night where I have a real big night and I stay past 3. In terms of going to a club at 1 in the morning, though, I mean, I'm set where I want to be at 1 in the morning.
Yeah. I think it's more so that if someone enters a club at 1, it means they got kicked out of somewhere and they're trying to find somewhere else, so they don't want them in their establishments.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't agree with the law because 2 people got punched in the face and died in a 2-year period. That's not even a statistic. So it's not worth passing laws over. At the same time, though, people complaining about it. I'm like, do you really need to stay out past 3? Aren't you feeling like going home at 3, motherfucker? Because next hour is 4, and then it's 5. People are going to work at 5.
Yeah.
I mean...
This is true. I don't know. I'm on the other side of the fence. I'm saying if someone wants to do something, everything should be 24/7. Half the employees should work during the day, half should work during the night, half should be awake during the day, half should be awake during the night, and then traffic hard.
Yeah, I do actually agree with you. I'm not saying I agree with the law. I'm just saying people who specifically complain about it, I'm like, get your shit sorted, man.
What I don't like is they're not permitted after 12 o'clock to serve double shots straight. If you want a double shot, it has to have soft drink in it, or you can have 2 single shots, and that's not a problem.
I think that's going to turn into one of those things that's never enforced.
It was when you ran into me.
What?
Yeah, it was like you couldn't get a double shot by itself. It had to have like soft drink in it.
But I saw you out at like 9.
Yeah, you could do it then.
Or like it was even earlier than that.
But then after 12, it's when it all changes around.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's one of the things that's not. I mean, okay, as it was, but like a bartender's gonna go, yeah, sure, and no one's got. It's like, do you know it's illegal to be intoxicated in a pub?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they have to provide food, so it's.
You can't go to a pub and drink and not order food.
Legally.
Technically, legally. But who doesn't, you know, I mean, I'd say 80% of the time I go to a pub, I don't get even a nibble.
Which might be why if they put out those pub nuts or whatever, like it changes the rule or something, if there's food readily available. But I know there has to be one item of food on the menu if you're serving alcohol, no matter where it is. Even like bottle shops and stuff have to sell chips. It's crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, they're not even allowed to, like, I mean, it's not even really available. Like, they technically, if you sit down with a mate just drink a couple of beers, they technically should be coming up and go like, alright guys, time to order some food.
Yep. If it was enforced.
If it was enforced, but it's not. And it's probably some double shot. How are they going to monitor that? It's like, can I have a double shot? See, are any cops around? Yes, you can.
Yeah, that's how it should be. I know, it's pretty crazy. But the thing as well is, if they're kicking everybody out at 3 o'clock at exactly the same time, everybody's on the street. That's not the best situation.
No, I mean that's a point that's been made by a lot of people, and yeah, it is very counterproductive. And plus, I think I've also heard that both of those king hits that happened were at like 10.
Yeah.
They, you know.
I'm proposing this instead of the lockout, the lock in. 2 o'clock, the doors dead bolted. Everyone has to stay there. Get the sleeping bags out, marshmallows. The lock in.
I like it.
If anybody of influence is listening, write on that idea. Don't kick them out and lock them out. Lock them in. What else we got?
Let's see. Laws that are silly. Tony Abbott still unpopular, but
He won't be after he retweets.
Even after he retweets.
Let's get on that real quick. If somebody's on Twitter already, follow us. We've already said the FIAWG is where you find us, but we're also on YouTube. Same deal, FIAWG. Google Plus, FIAWG.
And we're on iTunes.
Yep. Under the same.
Yeah, for actually both Fiog and Finances in One Gun will return us. And I believe on YouTube, if you search Finances in One Gun, you'll find our channel and like one of the top. So, you know, it's both of those will. If you're watching this, though, you don't need to know this. You already.
But if you're watching this, subscribe.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
How about Ice Cube in the background? He's being very patient, just chilling there.
Yeah, he's kind of giving us some fucking dirty eyes, though.
But he's, yeah.
You know.
He's got that swag about him.
Yeah, he doesn't really take shit from anybody. I watched a good documentary with him in it a while ago. Something from Nothing, The Art of Rap.
Yes, Ice-T's.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the cool thing about that movie is that because Ice-T is hosting it or producing it or whatever,
He's got some cred.
he's got his Rolodex, so every fucking rapper is cool to be in it. Like pretty much any person who's like got decent street cred, as you say, and his profile is in there. I think the only one I can even think off the top of my head is like 50 Cent is not in it. Like, you have to think. It's easy to name the ones who are
Case
not.
in point.
Yeah.
Anyone with cred is in it.
Does 50 Cent have a degree of cred?
In the music industry.
Hmm.
But not in the hip-hop community.
But he like sold meth or something, didn't he? Like,
It doesn't make you a fucking street king.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he didn't sell meth.
I think he was on Letterman once, and they're like, "Wow, you got shot like 12 times or whatever." And he's like, "Yeah. I mean, it wasn't intentional, but..." And they're like, "Wait, it wasn't intentional?"
Yeah, no, just on that, Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
He didn't intentionally shot himself, but he self-inflicted shot himself. So
Right.
when he was young, he was like fumbling with a gun and it hit, and he I think he shot his stomach or something. So how's that? A rapper who rose was originally shot himself. It's like, oh, this is supposed to happen.
Is that why his voice sounds kind of weird? Like he's still kind of going, "Ow, it really hurts."
Maybe.
Lil Wayne does sound odd. I don't really understand people can watch or listen to Lil Wayne for a prolonged period of time. After a couple of songs, I'd be like, "Oh, this is getting a bit grating."
You know, there are some. He's a good lyricist when he wants to be, but when he needs to be a good songwriter, that's when it turns pop.
I'm not really even criticizing him. I'm just saying his voice it's like Oasis, like that Liam Gallagher. Hey, it gets annoying after.
But
a while.
if you just flip radio stations and you hear that voice, you're like, oh, that's Oasis or that's Lil Wayne.
Yeah, and
like
for a
it's their
few songs,
signature,
it's fine.
Yeah,
It's hard to listen to a full album.
it is hard to listen to a full Lil Wayne album. Back in the day, though, 500 Degrees, one of the best rap albums
You told me earlier, yeah. I'll check it out. I'll give it some time.
for the time that it came out. Real dope. And the Carter one as well. But Ice Cube, gone from gangster rapper to
He's in more family movies now.
kid entertainer. Good on him.
Yeah. Okay, how old is he now?
I don't know, 50.
50. Probably has kids, you know.
He definitely does. And he's made a life for himself and his family. And he's
You can't shoot cops and bank runners all your life.
no, just the first half of it.
Yeah. First quarter, hopefully he was to 100.
Yep. Ice Cube, give us a retweet.
Yeah, absolutely. Is he on Twitter?
Probably not.
Okay, yeah. Shall we, I know you were saying that we don't usually, like, you know, wait for stuff out of the sponsors, but I think we've got quite a lot lined up, so do you want to, like, just before we do our first sponsor, should we just update
Yeah, like,
the situation?
I don't know if we should mention them. Let's just say the sponsors that we did have are no longer.
I want to mention this because it's important. Alright, the other guys, they fucked us off again, and
Both.
it's unfortunate. No, not both.
Well,
Fiog first. After last week's show...
no, both sponsors.
Both sponsors, yeah. Both sponsors are no longer with us.
Yeah.
But only one fucked us off.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The other one, those know you people. I mean, I tried to kind of, like, grit my teeth and, like, take the money and be like, whatever. But after just kind of reflecting on it, I decided it was just such a stupid product.
Integrity first.
Yeah, so I called them. I was like, no hard feelings, but your company sucks, so I guess hard feelings.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. And the CEO was like, oh no, please, man, please, you know, we need the advertising. No.
But we had to take a stand.
Yeah, we were like, no, sorry.
So they're not with us anymore. We wish them the best in their future endeavours, but just not alongside us, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's it.
For them.
And then you know, I was kind of like, you know, it was fine because we had the other company, but then I get a call from them. He's like, sorry, Matt, your show's not pulling the numbers. And I'm like, please, you know, we need the sponsorship. We fired this other guy. I wouldn't have done it if I thought we'd be able to bring Karma.
Yeah.
So the tables turned, it was Karma.
But yeah, so both of them gone, unfortunately.
But now we have better ones.
We do.
Yep, best sponsors we've ever had.
Yep.
And ones that I'm sure we're going to have a long and prosperous relationship with.
There's always sunshine after the rain.
Yeah.
So
when God closes a door, he opens a window.
Yeah. And whatever other silly phrase you can throw out there.
See you later, alligator. We'll say that for the end of the show.
Here they come. First sponsors.
Oh, no, don't. Is it... we've got to make sure... Oh, wait, no, you're right, you got it. Right.
Here they are.
Thanks, just make sure it's right order.
Yeah, because when they sent in the video files that they sent in the graphics, it wasn't labelled quite properly. So, but
One's paying us more to be at the start, so we've just got to live up to it.
I didn't want to say it, but that's the way this works.
Yeah.
Here they are.
Do you like comfortable slippers?
Yeah.
But you find that they don't make you feel like you're safe in your own home?
Yeah.
Well, fear no longer, because now you have...
What?
Slipper Dagger 6000.
What? How does that work?
Slipper Dagger 6000 is a slipper with a dagger at the end of it.
Oh.
So now when a burglar's in your home, or anyone else that you don't want there, you can stab them with the end of your foot.
Oh, wow. Oh, shit.
Hey, how you doing?
So the rest of that is, you can go to slipperdagger.com.
.com, yeah.
With a K.
And, just tell them we see you and we'll get the money.
So it's slipper, dagger in one word, .com.
Good people.
I think the file must have corrupted or something, and that's why it ran a bit short.
Yeah, that's right.
But
and Kev wanted to play me the song on the stereo while it was playing, but we didn't have time, unfortunately. So
yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Speaking of technical things, so one of the big stories that one of the products that I've been following is the Google Glass.
This is the kind of Matt, the Kevin tells Matt about thing when you
Yep.
part. So I'll just lay back on this one.
But you do know a little bit of something about this. So Google Glass, everyone knows the phrase. It's basically headwear, eyewear that serves two purposes. For one, it's got a camera on it, so you can document yourself. Like the Indiana Pacers basketball team, they all had them on during practice, and then people could see what it was like to ball through their eyes and stuff. Ball through their eyes. Yeah. So that's one use for it. The other use is it's got like a heads-up display, like an in-eye display. So it's basically, if you imagine a monitor, a see-through monitor closer to your eye. So if you look at something, you can recognize faces and pop up with information and give navigation and stuff through it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Terminator kind of stuff. So both of these things are possible, and it's happening. Like it's not a pie in the sky thing. But what I want to talk about on this little section is the first use, which is the camera on it. So the Australian government want this banned in Australia for the fact that when you're walking around recording people, you're basically recording their likeness in invading their privacy, basically. So you're walking down the street, somebody else is walking down the street, because you've captured them, then you're in the wrong. I don't think that's right, but I would like to know where you stand on that.
I see. I see where the concern is, but at the same time, where do you draw the line? Because it's not illegal to have security cameras.
Yep.
So does that mean that companies like businesses have more rights than individuals to tape the public? Because that. Yeah, no, I'd say I'm against it. And I mean, if I want to film, what's not okay is if you film somebody and then use their image publicly in a public forum, like you put it on YouTube
potentially
or
this
on
would
television.
Potentially be like a day in the life of Kev, and you put them on, and then 24 hours is uploaded. So anyone you see is on there doing what they're doing in public anyway.
If it's for your own private use, though, it's fine for your video. It's if you film somebody, so you film it from your eyes or whatever, and then you've got someone who you can identify, and then you put them up on YouTube, and you go, look at this dickhead.
Yep.
It's like that's not really okay. Because I didn't give you permission to use my likeness.
But that's really the only idea for Google Glass. You're not going to record it for your own personal use. It's like a extension of social networking. So instead of seeing people's thoughts, you see their eyes. So no one's going to walk around and record all this stuff and not use it. It's going to be like, let's check out what Shane Warne did today, and then you peep out his day.
Well, Shane Warne's different though, because he's a public person. That's kind of what we're talking about celebrities.
Yeah, but okay, no, but says Shane Warne's got it on, so you tap into his channel or whatever they're going to call it, and then I'm walking past, so I'm on his video, and then I'm like, oh, Shane Warne can't record me. So that aspect of it is what they're trying to illegalize, criminalize.
So you're for that aspect? I mean, maybe.
I don't think so. I cannot understand why somebody couldn't show other people what they see. If I can legally see something, why can't somebody else? It's just like if they were standing next to me.
Well, if you can tune in and just see it, but if it's recorded and then it's stored in a database where you can access whenever you like. I mean, it's not like I care if I just happen to be. Yeah, okay, let's rephrase this, okay? It doesn't matter if someone happens to film me walking down the street, because I can't reasonably object to that. Like, what is it that I don't want about someone seeing me walk down the street? It's not, you can't reasonably take issue with it. Like, I could take issue and be like, oh, I have, really anal privacy issues, but at that point it's like, well, tough luck, man, we live in the 21st century, so I guess just deal with it. However, if I'm in a really massive argument with one of my friends, it's like more. It's more of a but if it's charged sort of situation, and it's like private.
But it's in a public forum. It's not private.
Well, it's not private to the extent that, like, if some person walks in the street, then okay, they're going to be privy to my argument, sure.
Yep.
And I accept that.
So
but
what's different?
Then
what's different? Somebody seeing it or somebody recording it and somebody else seeing it? It's exactly the same.
Well, let me explain, because in one situation it's like, okay, it's a moment that's fleeting, and in the other one it's like, well, okay, that was like a moment of my life I'm not really proud of, I don't want to like have put out there, and it's like, oh well, now it's on YouTube and it's got a million views.
That'll smart people. That'll give them a kick in the fucking back of, excuse me for cussing, in the back of the head, and just saying, if you're out in public, then you act respectfully. Otherwise, you don't, and you're being captured on tape. I think we're going to get to a point.
I think there can be a middle ground with this one.
For now, but I think in like 15, 20 years, it's going to be like, this is what you do. So everything's documented by everybody. And then people will start to advance because they want to jerks stepping backwards. And maybe it'll just be one of those things we can't get around, but in a perfect...
They're absolutely hurdling it if right now they're saying Australia doesn't want this, cancel it.
Well, I don't think we should ban the technology. I don't think we should do that. I'm just saying I think we could have a perfect world where maybe the technology is somewhat regulated, and if something on YouTube pops up that you didn't approve, that it is something that you could reasonably object to, something that you could reasonably say I don't want it to be public. Again, it can't just be the fact that you're on tape, but something you could reasonably object to.
Yep.
You should have like a court. You could go to like get a letter, like demand that person take down the video.
You can absolutely do that. That's in any digital medium. You can do that. Like if somebody tweets about you and you have a reason to say it's defamatory or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is an interesting time as well. So let's say I'm using something for first. I've recorded through my Google Glass a vision. It's on my YouTube. It's private. Mm-hmm. So then the other person can't get upset about that. At the moment, the NSA can request from Google any like browser history from a person if they're like involved in criminal activity and they need to do backgrounds. They can check for browser histories, emails, anything that's behind that Google password. More times than not, and they try not to grant the access to that because like they believe in the privacy. But when the NSA and the government are like knocking down the door, some of them get through. But that'll be exactly the same thing. So there will be tape that's like, oh, it's off bounds, like no one can see it. But then all of a sudden, the NSA can say, well, let me see that.
Doesn't mean the NSA just have to tell Google why they want it, and Google kind of goes, well, okay, if it's for that.
No, I don't want to rattle off what number it is because I know the kind of ballpark, but I probably won't get it right on now. But more times than not, they don't give out the information. They ask for more proof that it's needed for the benefit of national security or whatever, and then if they can't prove that, then they withhold it. So
if you were working for the NSA, would you kind of like have some fun with that?
There's no way I'd work for the NSA.
I was just thinking like Edward Snowden was like, at any moment I could like tap into the president's phone or whatever. I don't know if that's true. I'm slightly skeptical, but if it's true and I was at their desk, I'd be like, I'd like tap into the president. I'm like, what's he saying now? I'd have fun with that. I think I would work at the NSA. Fuck you hippies. I would have fun with it, yeah.
They can do it. If you picture back when they used to have like the physical switches, when you called somebody and said, this is the number I want, and they like pulled out the cable, put it back in. Mm-hmm. It's basically the same technology now, but it's just digital. So if they want to get this line to here and just copy it and put it over to this line and listen to it, they can do it, no matter whose it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd like to just be able to...
But when they use it for the wrong reasons, it's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean...
You can't have it both ways. You can't say, we don't want... we want to protect the privacy of our citizens, and then you say, well, we have reason to breach this privacy. Like, it just seems like they're playing both sides of the fence.
Mm.
Which I think is cool. But then, okay, so on the other side of the story is... the Oculus, which is a technology that Facebook bought or assimilated or what have you. It's like the VR, the virtual reality headsets. So it's basically the opposite of Google Glass. So Google Glass is you walk around and real things you get virtual information on. This is the opposite. So you put glasses on, you can't see anything except for the virtual world or whatever. Mm-hmm. So this is the way that Google think it's going to happen like this, and Facebook thinks it's going to happen like this.
So is Oculus kind of better for video games and stuff?
It is, and they'll do like Second Life kind of stuff, and they'll have practical uses. They'll have like medical sims and whatever.
I always actually thought about that as a kid. How cool would that be if you could just like actually be in the video game? Like, it's literally like it is now, except I'm like in San Andreas, and you're just like that actually can't be disturbing. But I wouldn't enjoy San Andreas if you actually felt like you were running over pedestrians and like really.
It'll be a different world.
Yeah, it'll probably fuck you up.
Yeah, so it's just two different ways of thinking about it, but I can't draw the distinction myself in them saying, whoever them is saying, I want to ban human activity being recorded, but we want to promote virtual humans stepping into a virtual reality where everything, the purpose of it is for it to be recorded. So it's just because you're physically doing something, they draw the line there. But if you think something and then your character does it, then it's all right. To me, it's one and the same thing. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I think they bought it for Facebook bought Oculus Rift for $2 billion cash and $7 billion in stocks.
Right. Oculus Rift, is that the PS4 one?
Yeah. It's the technology of Oculus technology.
I always thought Oculus. I'm not fond of gaming. Something else. I always thought Oculus was a game, not a. So that's the technology, not the specific game.
Or the company, or but it's their patented trademark is the VR.
Okay.
Eyewear technology.
I follow you now. I get you. Okay. Right.
So that's that. I don't know. I would like to see how this plays out. I think it's going to go one of either way in different countries. So the more conservative countries will say the VR, the Oculus thing is alright, but don't fuck around with the human privacy. And then the more advanced countries would say human interactions and the physical world needs to be shared more and documented more than making a second life.
If we can go a little bit back to the NSA type thing, you say you would never work for the NSA, but let's say you don't have to work for the NSA, but I'm just like, Kevin, I've got like a new app on my phone. You can just tap in and listen to anyone's conversations on the phone or anything. Anywhere. Who would you tap? Don't say no one, because I'm sure you want to hear someone's conversations. Could be a celebrity, could be a politician, could be...
Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of like people tapping in on our conversation, and I have no problem with that at all.
Well, yeah, we're kind of asking them to.
So if this camera, instead of being a webcam, was a pair of Google glasses, then potentially that could be illegal. Like Ice Cube could be like.
I guess if Google glasses were outlawed and you then bought one to the thing, but like you can't own those. Yeah, it's a You're usually the one who drinks faster than me. I'm actually cheering for the Miller Lite quite quickly this week.
But nice.
It's quite smooth. I don't usually drink Miller Lite. I should probably drink more. This is very drinkable.
We can't drink both at the same time. We're going to have a bit of silence. So while you enjoy the beverage, I'll just draw my words out. So it's alright.
There you go. And now I will be the one talking while Kevin has a drink of his wine.
And we're back.
Hey.
So do you have any other thoughts on this?
On the NSA, on the Google Glass, on the Oculus?
On human life versus VR life, on
I guess
Strays banning it?
I don't know, I'm kind of, with the Matrix, I always sided with the evil guy. You know how he's like, I know it's fake, but it's delicious. I'm like, oh yeah, if you're Neo and it's like, okay, your life's been fine so far. I mean, it wasn't because he was in a cubicle and everything, but let's say you knew it was fake, but it was actually the cool life. You had a little private beach and a hot girlfriend, and you get a drink sometimes, have a little bit of blood sometimes, whatever. You just had a cool life.
Yep.
And then you find out it's like, no, that's actually fake. But there is a real world that really does exist where you eat fucking worms and have to live in some dank basement. Of course you'd go with the fake world, surely. Did they even explain really in the movie why that wasn't the better option? Was it just kind of a given that...
Because if there's truth out there, you got to find it. Well, that was the character's rationale.
There was a character's rationale, but they were just kind of like, yeah, he's right. I mean, I don't know, they didn't convince me that he was really...
There's two sides to that as well. There's the ignorance is bliss, like you're talking about. If you're happy with your life, then you do it. But then as well, if you can make an impact and find something that changes the whole life. I guess the thing is, if somebody is controlling it, then you don't want to be just chilling under their level for your life. You want to be on their level, like face to face with them.
Yeah, fair point. I guess there are a bunch of Mr. Smiths walking around, like...
Yeah, but yeah. I want to say as well, I'll save that one because that's probably going to be long-winded. Yeah, I agree. But I'm not saying to ban Facebook's virtual reality world, but I'm saying if that has every right to live in our society as the other society, compared to us. So banning one, especially.
What?
I've ranted about Facebook on like every episode. I don't want to do too much more on that.
Yeah, Facebook's alright with me. I mean,
Because you root for the evil guy, like you just said.
yeah, I guess we'll root for the NSA, I'll root for the Matrix.
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of root for Fred Phelps later, but we'll see about that one. That's too big into me.
Let's talk about Fred Phelps now.
Okay.
But I don't even know the name, so you're gonna have to.
Well,
lead on this one.
Fred Phelps, I'm not rooting for him, but I just think people root against him too readily, and they don't really get that they're being sort of played.
Who is Fred Phelps?
Fred Phelps is a dead old man now. He died last week, just a little before last week's show. Didn't really think anything about them, but I saw something in the news recently about him or about his church that I did want to bring up. But anyway, Fred Phelps, old man, pastor. He has a church that has about under 100 members or something like that. Most of which are his family. There's a few people who have joined because they're fucking crazy. I mean, I don't understand how you could join the church without being brainwashed from a young age. But essentially, they're old school Baptists, like really strong literal interpretation of the Bible, specifically around gays or homosexuals or faggots, as the Baptist Church likes to refer to them as,
or
fags.
I guess against
Against
that
them,
was my question.
yeah,
Right.
their interpretation of the Bible, specifically around homosexuals, is very literal, because they don't really do that issue about how you can't wear certain types of cloth, and so, as far as I understand, there's a bunch of stuff in Leviticus. They don't take that seriously, but they thought when God was talking about the gay people, he was right on. And they also think that every time there's a natural disaster, or every time a US soldier dies in foreign soil, or every time a gay man dies of AIDS or anything, that's just God saying, cut it out. I'm going to keep punishing you until you get it. You shouldn't be doing that, and you're going to go to hell when you die as well. And so,
What do they do about it?
well, they go to funerals, for one thing, often of people like this, for instance, military soldiers, and they hold up signs saying, God hates fags, fag soldiers burn in hell, thank God for AIDS, blah, blah, blah.
I've seen this.
Yeah, so they're very controversial for that. Now, when I said I was going to defend Fred Phelps, not really going to defend Fred Phelps as such, but every time I've seen a documentary about them, there's a couple of really good documentaries that Louis Theroux made. One called America's Most Hated Family, and one called America's Most Hated Family Crisis, where it goes back to them 4 years later.
Saw that.
Yeah, it's a good documentary, isn't it?
Yeah, and I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah. Well, there are there's a few moments in that where people on the street will come up to them, and they'll be like, fuck you, stop doing this, get off the street, you're disgusting, and then they'll say stuff back to them like, oh well, that's what you get for being a fag lover, and blah blah blah.
Yep.
And out of the two, the ones that annoy me the most are actually the people that go up and confront them, because it's like they're well intentioned, but it's like, don't you understand? Like, these are people who think that there's a man in the sky who is going to send them to hellfire for all eternity if they don't do this. Of course, there's nothing you can say to change this person's mind. It's a waste of time.
True.
And even more than that, you're making them feel good. Because they, in their... I actually listened to a documentary on Joe Rogan with Louis Theroux, who was talking about this. It's every time, someone mocks them or says they're, out of their mind or whatever.
Gives them power.
Yeah, because their prophecies, their reading the text says, you will be hated, you will be mocked, but you will be right. So you're really only making them feel better when you do that. And coming into something that's topical this week, something that kind of reminded me of that is that there's a high school in Margaret River at the moment who are putting on a production of the R.I.P Project, which is about Matthew Shepard, a kid who was... there's some controversy around this, but it was definitely brutally murdered, ostensibly for being gay.
In the States.
Yeah,
Right.
back in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Right.
So to play about him, they protested Matthew Shepard's funeral as well. And the Westboro Baptist Church started going on Twitter. By the way, Westboro Baptist, if you like on Twitter, just send us a message at FIAWG. We've only got 10 followers, so we'll really take it.
We'll take care of this point.
Probably better than Margaret River School, especially if you can both follow us.
Louis Theroux, get at us.
Yeah. And actually, WBC, if you retweet us, you will get our endorsement 2017 full prime. Maybe you won't. I'll have to reconsider that. But anyway, it's a tangent. They're doing this Margaret River School doing this production of Larry Project, and WBC said something like on Twitter about go Australia down under the fags down under gonna do there. And I saw Huffington Post. It was like Margaret River School has best response ever to WBC, and their best response ever was something along the lines of, "Yeah, you're stupid." I don't know, like. Again, like well-intentioned and like I'm sure it was smarter than that. I'm sure it was cleverer than that. But it's like the best response is just to do your production.
Yeah.
Don't get all holier than thou, because it's very easy to be holier than thou and more pious than the Westboro Baptist Church. Of course, you're in the right. Like when you point out that you're more tolerant than the Westboro Baptist Church and that you're more in line with the Westboro Baptist Church, that's like an easy.
Yeah. The way I think about it is if somebody has an opinion and somebody else has a different opinion, there's no right and wrong, and they should just both leave each other alone. Like, it just assume that you're right and they're right, but you're just on different fucking planes.
To a really extreme degree, I guess we can't know which one is right. I've got a pretty big suspicion that the Westboro Baptist Church are wrong.
I know which is more socially acceptable, and I know which is
more likely to be true.
Which I am more likely to subscribe to, but
you can't prove.
You can't say anybody's
100% that.
You can't even say 2 + 2 is 4. He's right. Anyway, that's another tangent.
I don't know if mathematics there might be just objective black and white there, more than like just a God or I don't know. Maybe need to get a philosophy major to kind of explain to me if math is subjective.
I think if you hear anybody's thought on anything, let them have it. Entertain it, just don't fucking block it.
Yeah, my closing thought on the Westboro Baptist Church is just. Actually, I want to make another point. I'm going to go on a really long rant about this.
Yeah.
Are we running out of time?
Kinda-ish.
I really do. Yeah, I went on a big rant about that.
If you have a exclamation point, and then we'll get onto the other sponsor, and then we'll...
Look, I won't reiterate the other point I was going to reiterate, but I will make just one other side point.
Yes.
I'll try and make this as brief as possible. On that documentary, there's this moment where they're out protesting on the street. They're not protesting a funeral in this incident, they're just protesting on the street. And some guy drives by and he has like a cup full of soda, and he throws the soda out of the car, and it hits one of the young kids in the head. Because they've got young kids and they're indoctrinating brainwashing their children. And the kid's probably about, 7 or 8. And he's got this, one of the signs in And anyway, he gets hit in the head with the soda, and just the look on his face after, he's just like, "What happened? What happened?" And his mom comes up to him and goes, "I'm sorry, honey, I'm sorry that happened." And I go, "What kind of fucking dad would do this to a child?" or whatever. It's like, well, look what you're doing. But I was thinking, like, that poor kid, he didn't choose to be born to that or anything. But then, what about the lady who's running the protest? She was a child once.
Yep.
And she was the daughter of Fred Phelps. So it's not really her fault either. They're sick. Yep. And they're brainwashed. That's the only other point I wanted to make.
Just different worlds. Like, if that's all you know, then that's all you think is right. You're not going to... You're 40 years old and somebody tells you wrong and you go, "Oh, damn, I'm wrong."
I did well at that though, didn't I? We were running under, and now we're going to have to put triple fittings again back in.
This is true.
Sorry guys, I got mouthy.
Let's get on our last sponsor. I have another topic coming up after that, which I'm kind of pumped to talk about, and then we've got our predictions, and we've got about 12 minutes left. So stick with us. Here's our second sponsor, the good people at
Copy Word.
Copy your word.
Thank you for the jingle, sir. Do you like feeling smart?
Yeah, I do.
But you're not very smart and you can't do word puzzles or crosswords or anything.
No.
Well, fear no longer, because now you have Copy Word.
Copy your words.
Copy Word is a daily subscription to crosswords, except they're not crosswords. Instead of having clues, they just have the words that you're supposed to write down.
Oh.
So you can complete the crossword or copy word in a matter of seconds and feel very smart.
Oh, by George, even I can do that.
Yeah, so go to copyword.com today.
Okay. Thanks to those people at Copyword for getting to us.
Yeah. thank you for the money.
Yeah. We appreciate them coming on board with such a product which will help people
Mhm.
boost their self-confidence.
Right. Good.
Never again will you be mocked for not being able to do a crossword. Now,
Spring.
Yep.
Alright.
just copy it over.
Done.
Also for people who are learning how to write the alphabet and whatever, also very helpful.
Mm.
Learn what the words look like, learn how to rewrite the words.
Yeah.
Good people. Last topic I want to talk about is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle trailer is out.
I watched
And I'm
it after
pumped
you
about
told
it.
me. Really?
Yep.
Okay, I was gonna. I'll
Well-
wait to see your opinions so we could argue about it on the show.
Well, for the sake of getting both sides of the argument, let's you start with what you thought about it.
I mean, I don't see how you could be pumped other than the fact that it
Really?
confirmed. Other than the fact that it confirmed there will be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. I've never been in my childhood. I wasn't like the biggest fan. I liked it.
Yep.
It was not my favorite cartoon, but it was one that I enjoyed.
Yep.
But I mean, again, I can't see how you get stoked on the trailer because all it confirms is that okay, there will be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. There will be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in it,
Yes.
and there will be like explosions. And
That's
stuff.
exactly the point. They're going to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There was like rumors flying around when it was still in script mode that it was going to be like Teenage Alien Ninja Turtles or whatever. And they're
I
like-
see you were just
like,
stoked they didn't do the worst.
But they didn't absolutely like demolish the story and
Okay.
rebuild it. They kept it. There was little tweaks here and there that they put in to make it into like the story that they needed. But the legend of the story is there.
But
So
Michael
good.
Bay.
I would give it to him. Based on the trailer alone, 10 out of 10. for
You
the
didn't even
movie.
see. You just saw it at the very end.
Yeah.
The other show was just a car flying through like snow and stuff.
Yeah, but it shows like for one, it shows the turtles are larger than humans, so it's not like they're not like just little entertainment characters. They're the menacing.
Yeah, I mean that
Focal
would be
points of the
horrible.
movie.
I mean, I guess like if you count like good as like he's not going to make an absolute travesty of a film. Like what was
Could happen.
it was one they really fucked up. Oh yeah. Thunderbirds. They made the Thunderbirds movie like back in 2004. No marionettes.
Really,
Yeah, like that kind of thing is like
that could have happened.
ridiculous.
And
but-
this TMNT could have been no live action. It could have been like total CGI or marionettes in this.
Oh, what about like
So
a
I'm happy
what
that
about
didn't
like a
happen.
feature-length cartoon that looks exactly like the original cartoon?
I would bump that all day.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be really good. Were the original live-action films good?
Yeah, but those were very comedical.
Yeah, right.
Just what's the word I'm looking for?
Comedic.
Very comedic.
This one probably
Dictionary.com,
looks
we
like
reached
it's
out
gonna-
to you last week and you didn't get back to us, and now we don't have the words.
And I shared a photo of my bookshelf, which I thought was kind of funny because it had a bear in it. No one favorited it or retweeted it or anything.
And I specifically gave them the time point in one of the videos where we asked for their help.
I know the thing.
Reached out, I didn't grab it.
Another thing you're supposed to do on Twitter is like follow a bunch of people that can follow you back. I don't want to play that game. I just want people to follow us because it's a sign of status if you have more followers than followings, and I think we're worth it. I think we put out a quality show.
Yep.
And I don't think we should have to. We'll follow you back. You'll get the coveted Fiog follow if you retweet something we do. That's the rule.
Because you've become friends of ours and part of the show.
Yeah, but we're not going to follow you just for following us.
Yep.
And we're certainly not going to follow you so you follow us. You can
That's
just cross that right off the fucking board.
total. So a few things just to kind of keep some structure around this topic is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No.
It's no Splinter. Splinter's gone.
Which one's Splinter?
The rap, the master. So I think from
I
what
can see why they made this decision, though.
because
Go ahead.
because there's too many complications to make into a movie where people who don't understand can still know what's going on. They're like, oh, there's a big rat. What's going on?
A big CGI rat would just look weird, though. I mean, did they do
It
that
was
in the
done.
original?
Yeah, but that was dodgy. It was looked like Skippy or something.
Right, so it did look kind of fucked.
The whole movie was, but it was a funny kind of thing. So it was like you laugh at how goofy it was. But at the time, it was decent. But it was just dudes in suits. This is dudes in like ping pong suits.
How long running was the original cartoon? The 1990s cartoon?
Millions.
Right.
I think they still replay it now, like 2 a.m. It's still dope. And my nephew, who's like 2, he's like watching the Nickelodeon has rebooted it, and it's still the
Oh, they've
same.
got all new.
Yeah.
That's something to be way more excited about. in my
And it's still
opinion.
done. Yeah, but the fact that it's like the longevity of this thing, and it's about to come out with a blockbuster movie as well, which is on a whole other level. That's
Teenage
dope.
Mutant Ninja Turtles Transformers? They were originally a comic book, were they? Is that right?
That's a good question. Not sure. Not sure. I'm looking at them now.
If you're a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, maybe you want
Tweet
to
us.
follow us on Twitter and there as well.
But that's dope. So what? Just the trailer alone. What are your thoughts?
It was just boom, boom, boom. Oh, there's Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I just thought it looked like it was going to be trash. Michael Bay ruined Transformers, and now he's going to ruin Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, shitting on everyone's childhoods.
He flipped it though. I can respect it. Like I don't.
He made it harder.
I didn't actually see Pearl Harbor.
Oh.
But Transformers is the same kind of thing. It was like
Watch
just
it.
an iconic set of stories, and he took all that and made his own story and brought a movie out.
I'm being mean. I haven't seen Transformers, so I shouldn't make an assumption that he ruined it. But I think it has fairly okay ratings for a blockbuster. As well.
And the new one's got Marky Mark in it.
I really didn't actually ever get. Oh, is that? It's not out yet, though, is it? Okay.
Trailer.
I never actually. I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles a bit as a kid. I've never watched Transformers, so I really not invested in that at all. It just was not my thing.
Fair enough. I'm still waiting for the He-Man movie. Oh, that had some terrible ones. But reboot
Are
that.
they actually doing the He-Man movie,
No,
or just not? Okay.
They're doing. This is something. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but they're doing the Little Mermaid movie.
Oh, live action.
Heck to the yeah.
You might have told me that, or I heard about it somewhere. But that will be interesting.
The way they can make that into a script is something that I want to see. How you can't get much more iconic in a different genre than getting that and putting it on the big screen. It's not going to be a kids' movie. It's going to be something in live action as well. Man, I'm excited for that. So let's put that aside. Get on with our last recurring segment. Prediction. This is the point in the show where we reflect on the predictions that we made last week and seeing if they've come to fruition, and we also predict for what's going to happen in the next week. So let's start with, if you want to go first.
Yeah, sure.
With last week.
I'm really struggling lately. I think this is the third time in a row. I haven't gotten it, but okay.
Practice.
Yep. So I predicted something to do with education and money issues in America.
Yes.
Like maybe a teacher strike or something along those lines. Nothing popped up. Nothing came on my radar, at least.
Nothing at all.
If you know of something that did happen, tweet us. But no, I'm going to say it was a fail. Now, do you then? What's the structure? Do you then say what your one was, and then we go back? Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
I'll go for last week's. I predicted something was going to happen around ducks, the animal, being used to formulate a new generation of technology. I think I got this, but let me know your thoughts. Do you remember the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, the original?
Was it the one with Super Mario and stuff?
Yeah, like the 8-bit graphic, like maybe
Wait, is this Pong or is this?
No, the generation after, or 2 generations after, the one where they had the Duck Hunt game, where you had the laser gun and you shot the string.
Is there a chance I don't know of the game? Is it that iconic? Is it
It's very
iconic as
iconic.
Mario or Pong? Or
Yeah. For the time, like, it was the only thing that had an external peripheral. Like, it was a gun that you shoot at the screen, and then ducks go across, and you shoot the gun.
It's one of those things where I'm going to say no, but if I saw a screenshot, I might be like, "Oh, that! Of course I know that." But
So it's a thing, basically.
you're going to find me a screenshot.
I was going to try to discreetly do it, but now that we're both looking at the screen, so it's this. Basically, ducks go across, and you shoot it.
No, I don't know. Never not.
Okay.
That somehow never came under my radar.
Well, it was basically at the time, and well, I can say it still is. It was the first real time where they bought an external peripheral, which is like it wasn't a joystick, but it was something else where you manipulate the space in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say that very much inspired people to keep building on that technology, and that's where the Oculus has come from.
Wait, but did they do anything specifically with the duck game? No, you didn't get it. No, it's way too
Happy to wear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, 2 swings, no dings. Let's go for next week and kind of do it rapidly so we can wrap this up.
Oh, come on, we've got 2 minutes.
We got 1 minute.
1 minute 30.
Let's go.
Okay, alright.
So what do you think is going to happen in this next week?
Okay, someone's going to get drunk. It's going to be in England, and it's going to involve property damage. That could be a car, or it could be a house, or it could be just, any kind of expensive kind of piece of equipment. But someone's going to publicly get drunk.
It's newsworthy.
Newsworthy, yeah.
Okay, so there's drunk and public vandalism or damage
Property damage of some
in
kind
England.
because of drunkenness in England, yeah.
Okay, let's keep an eye out for that. I think in the next week there's going to be a some kind of personal travel device, like a skateboard or a scooter or something, is going to it's going to be in a larger scale for whatever reason.
Can you repeat the...
She's like, you're going to MIB flash me.
I know, I was just putting those on because we're going to end the show soon.
Yep.
And
So,
I want to like...
my quick recap, there's going to be some kind of personal travel device is going to be brought up to a larger scale.
Okay.
How you want to write this out? Before you
All right.
tune out, follow us on Twitter, YouTube, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
What do you got?
What have I got? What do you mean?
You got 7 seconds. Write it out. I assume you had something. You got sunglasses on.
No, I just wanted to have a cool screen grab.
Peace.